Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma and today I'll be talking about the upcoming solar eclipse. So each year we know that there are two solar eclipses and two lunar eclipses which occur. And this year the first solar eclipse is happening on the 20th of April 2023. Right, so this eclipse will take place in the sign of Aries where Sun is transiting at that point in time, and Sun's exaltation sign is Aries. So that is the most special or the interesting part about it. So Sun is getting eclipsed while it is in its exaltation Rashi, in its exaltation sign of Aries. So this eclipse is the first one. The second eclipse of the year will take place on the 14th of October 2023. So we'll talk about this. The timings of this particular eclipse on the 20th of April as per the Indian Standard Time is 7:04 a.m. That's when the eclipse starts and it ends, it gets completely over by 12:29 p.m. So this is about a period of five and a half hours approximately when the eclipse is there, it's happening. Now the time where the maximum, the peak of the eclipse takes place is 9:46 a.m. 9:46 to 9:47 a.m. 1 minute's time is when the full eclipse occurs. Now is it visible in India? No. This eclipse is visible in the Australian continent, in the Pacific Ocean side, Antarctica, South of Asia, East of Asia. So some part of Asia does get to see it, but not us, not in the Indian subcontinent. Right, so here though some may say that the eclipse is not visible, so how does it matter? I mean, it can keep happening. But whenever any celestial phenomena like this, in any celestial event happens, it does generate some amount of energy, some amount of cosmic energy does come out of it, and you have to take note of how does it affect you, right? So some energy shifts definitely happen, as I've been mentioning previously also in my eclipse videos, that whenever an eclipse occurs, it is a good opportunity to let go of old patterns, old energies, and welcome the new. Now here, in the case of solar eclipses, you also have to see, are you behaving more out of or acting more out of your ego, out of your authority? So whatever the sun signifies, sun is the Atma Karak. Sun is the ruler of your confidence, of your name and fame, of your ego, of your self-esteem. So what are you doing out of these things? What should you take care of? Sun is heat. So wherever this eclipse occurs in your chart, there could be chances that there's some amount of, burning off which happens, or some destruction which can happen. Egos can burn. And now here in the sign of Aries, Rahu is conjunct Sun. So Rahu is going to be acting like a second sun. Rahu sitting with the planet behaves like that planet. So this energy is a little tricky to handle. Sometimes, people may act purely out of overconfidence, or may like to show off their authority, or may like to, be too authoritative. And Rahu is going to fuel that energy. So there are various things which can come out as an effect of this particular phenomena. And I'll be covering all the ascendants, all the 12 rising signs, and I'll talk in a very brief manner about what are the things which you need to take care of while this eclipse takes place. Do remember that the effect would last approximately 1 day minus and 1 day plus of the eclipse. But in case you are undergoing a dasha of sun or you have a Aries ascendant, a Cancer ascendant, Libra or a Capricorn ascendant, etc., then this may affect you more, because this will be happening in your Kendra sthanas. Right, so I'll go more into detail over there, but do remember the sign which Sun is ruling in your birth chart, the house which Sun is ruling in your birth chart, pardon me. Right, so whichever house, wherever Leo falls in your chart, you have to see that house, and then we have to see it in connection with Aries. So for Aries people, by default, it is a massive energy shift, I would say. Or if you have major planets in the sign of Aries, your ascendant, your sun sign, your moon sign, if it is in Aries, then obviously it affects you much more. Remember that during this period, Jupiter would also be about to enter the sign of Aries. So I've already made a video there. I'll leave a card somewhere in this video or in the description section. And I've spoken about how Jupiter's transit is also going to affect us all. Right? So without, talking more about the general effects, I'll go specific and I'll talk about all the 12 ascendants and how is it going to affect all of us. So for Aries people, this eclipse is happening right on your ascendant. So if you have a Aries ascendant, or even for that matter Aries moon sign, or if you have a lot of planets in Aries, as I said, it's definitely going to affect you. But for Aries lagna especially, Sun is your fifth lord. The sign of Leo comes in your fifth house. Sun rules the fifth house, and Sun is going to be there in the ascendant getting eclipsed. So this is a time where some amount of confusion or lack of clarity, so to say, could happen. You may find it difficult to take decisions. The fifth house is all about taking decisions, using your mind, using your intelligence properly in managing your life, managing things around you. So there could be difficulties there. Fifth house is also of your progeny. So the way you handle your children or your relationship with your children, there could also be some amount of a challenge over there. Right? So the fifth lord, not in a good state, though in the lagna, does produce some challenges. So it's better to take care of your stress levels, take care of your mental health during this particular time. That means 1 day plus minus plus the eclipse, so roughly about a period of 3 to 4 days have to be taken care of. Avoid any major decisions. So if you are in a stage where some major decisions are awaited, you've got to decide on something, wait it out. Try to take that decision either earlier or postpone it for some time. Do not get into speculation. Some of you may also get tempted to speculate. So try to avoid it during these particular days. Then comes the Taurus ascendant. So if you have a Taurus ascendant or a Taurus rising, this eclipse takes place in your 12th house. The 12th house of where? It's a Trik Bhav. Sun is the ruler of your 4th house. And the ruler of the 4th gets into an eclipse in the 12th house. So this is a time to take care of your expenditure. Take care of whatever you are spending. It could be your time, it could be your energy, it could be your anger. On whom are you taking out your anger? Right? So impulsively you may act out of impulse. You may act out of overconfidence, too much of authority. So make sure that you are grounded and you stay humble during these days. For some of you, you may also feel a little cut off from people. 12th house is a house of going away, of isolation. So you may feel a little cut off from people around you. So the way to handle this energy is to spend some time alone and avoid any big ticket expenditures during this time. For people who have any heart problems, or overall if your immunity is low, then this is the time to be extra cautious about your health. Then comes Gemini ascendant. So for Gemini ascendant or Gemini lagna, this eclipse takes place in your 11th house. Sun is the ruler of the 3rd house and the eclipse is taking place in the 11th house. Now for you, this could be a period or a phase of financial growth, materialistic growth. So if you were waiting for some government sanctions or some yes to your proposals, etc., during this time, it may be a positive period for you. Your efforts may take you up. So all that effort which you were doing till now, all that midnight oil which you were burning till now, this eclipse could actually make you make the energy shift. Something positive can happen, especially if Sun is well placed in your chart. Overall, your chart quality is good. Your dashas are conducive. This is going to be a great time for you materialistically. But a word of caution, there could be chances of some ego hassles within your circle. So your networks, your professional network circles, etc. There could be chances of some tiffs happening around you. There could be a chance of any communication problems, miscommunication, misunderstanding with you and your elder sibling also. So got to be cautious during that time. Avoid too much of socializing during this time, at least for the 3 days which I mentioned earlier. Right, so overall seems to be a good period for those who are seeking materialistic progress. Then comes the Cancer ascendant. So for Cancer ascendant or Cancer lagna, this eclipse takes place in the 10th house and Sun rules over your 2nd house. So here this could be a period where you put in that extra effort or that extra push towards your career, towards your profession. Financially, this could be a period of growth. So if you have been, if your overall chart is talking about good financial progress, your dashas are also supporting you, then this particular phenomena can actually push you up some notches. So after some time, you may see some financial growth happening. Those of you who are in the family business, etc., could also see some major traction. Also, this is not a very great time to interact or open up with your superiors or bosses. Right? Sun, as I said, has a lot of heat. There's a lot of heat which comes out of Sun's presence wherever it is in your chart. And then with the eclipse, there could be some difficult situations happening with your boss or with your superiors. So during this time, keep a little low profile and stay away from any conflicting situations. Some of you may also complain of headaches during this time. And it is very important, especially since you also have a Cancer ascendant, it is very important that it is, you keep yourself hydrated. Sun in the 10th house anyways, can cause issues which create a lot of stress and headaches for you. So though financially you may see some growth, professionally you may see some growth, but this could be a period of stress. Keep yourself hydrated. Right. Then moving on to the next ascendant of Leo. Now for Leo, when this eclipse takes place, it is happening in your 9th house and it involves your lagnesh itself, your ascendant ruler, that is Sun. So it of course gives you a major effect, major impact, especially if you're undergoing a dasha of Sun or the 9th lord, that is Mars, or Rahu for that matter. Right, so you will be affected in one way or the other. This could be a time where you think of your future plans, but there could be confusion around this decision. Right, so avoid taking any major decisions on the day of the eclipse or one day plus and minus, as I mentioned earlier as well. So future plans, long distance travels, etc. should be avoided during this particular time. For some of you who are seeking education outside, planning to go outside, there could be some major news which come to you. Right. Also avoid any argument or any conflict like situation with your father figure or with your teachers, with your mentors. Not a good time to do so. You may act out of ego, you may act out of too much of overconfidence, and you may regret later. So time to be a little low profile or communicate less, that is always better. So if you can get into any problem, avoid it for some time or don't communicate during that time. Then comes the Virgo ascendant. For Virgo, this eclipse could create a lot of tricky energy to handle. One, because it is happening in your 8th house. 8th house of suddenness, adhostana, atrik bhava. And here we anyways have such a, there's a 4-planet conjunction in the 8th house. Sun also happens to be your 12th lord. So for the Virgo ascendant, I would say this is the most trickiest of all, the most difficult eclipse. I mean, if I have to see out of all signs, it is the Virgo ascendant. Right, so here avoid getting into any scandal like any controversial situations. The lagnesh Mercury is also here in the 8th house right now. So because of your speech, because of you being present where you should not be, you could get into trouble. So do not pick up a fight with anybody. Do not get into any controversy. I would say lie low. Just take care of your health. If you are undergoing a bad phase of health, this is a time to take care of yourself. Start, if you have any medical checkups pending, do it before the eclipse happens. Right? Do not get into any transaction, any financial transaction during this time, because the 8th house is others' money. It could be your partner's money, it could be your spouse's money, it could be your in-laws, others' money. 2nd house is your own money, and right opposite is the 8th, where it talks about other people's money. So do not take any major decision or don't transact where others' money is involved. Right? So you could get into a very sticky situation which is difficult to handle later. Right? So the most caution has to be taken care of by Virgo. Then moving on to the next ascendant, which is Libra. Now for Libra, this eclipse takes place in your 7th house. Sun is the ruler of your 11th house. Sun is the lord of your house of gains also, and it is a Badakesh also for you. Right? So for all the Char lagnas, for all the movable lagnas, Sun, the 11th house and the 11th lord are Badak Sthan and Badak planets as such. But luckily, it is not going to produce as much of Badha as people say. Right? So once this eclipse takes place, there could be a shift, there could be a change in your environment. The people whom you deal with could change. So there could be a change of location, there could be a change in circumstances. This is not a great time to get into any argument or fight with your spouse. If you have some major decisions to be taken jointly, take it before or take it after. On the day of the eclipse, at least, don't get into something which creates many opinions, which creates problems between you and your spouse. So there are chances of ego hassles coming in, there are chances of some heated arguments coming in with you or your spouse or your business partner also. Overall, any relationship can get hit during this time. So this is a time to stay a little low profile, concentrate on your work. That is, I think, better rather than concentrating on the relations around you. Then this could also be a time of gain in your professional circle. So all that, as I said, work and profession should be focused on, and leave aside the other personal relations, leave aside too much of communication with your spouse. That doesn't mean that you don't talk to your spouse, but do not bring up topics which are difficult for both of you. Then comes the Scorpio ascendant. For Scorpio, this eclipse takes place in your 6th house. Sun is the ruler of your 10th house. And while in the 6th house, though it is happening in a Trik Bhava, it is also a house of growth, house of Upchaya, that means growth. So after going through some adversity, after going through some difficulties, you may come across some success. So if you were undergoing any legal problem, any medical issue, some difficult diagnosis was pending for you medically, then this could be a time where you start seeing the light across the tunnel. Some solution comes up your way. You could also get some help from the government or help from the authorities during this period. However, do take care of your daily routine, do take care of the way you deal with your colleagues, with your subordinates, with the people who serve you. Do not act out of ego and a bloated confidence level or overconfidence. So take care of your communication with these people. This may also be a great time to put in more towards what you want. So if you are competing, if you are in a competition of sorts, in a selection process of sorts, I'm talking about students or people who are seeking jobs, etc., this could be a period of gain. So if you have been working hard consistently, this could be a period where something positive starts happening with you after the eclipse, right? So then I move on to the next ascendant, which is Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, the eclipse takes place in the 5th house, and Sun rules your 9th house. Both the trine houses, both the Trikona houses get connected, right? So Sun is the ruler of the 9th, comes to the 5th, and there's an eclipse which happens over here. There's anyways a lot of energy in your 5th house right now. So this could be a period of a lot of mental energy, a lot of ideas coming in, a lot of creativity kicking in, creative ideas come to you. But think thoroughly. It's time to use your thought process in a structured way. Do not be impulsive. So whatever you want to do, write down properly and then act on those ideas. Discuss your ideas, brainstorm, right? So that is a must do for the Sagittarius ascendant. Also, you may feel too sure or too overconfident about what your ideas are or what you want to do, about how you're going to manage things. So stay grounded. Make sure that you're taking in the practical aspects also along. This is also a time where you should be spending some quality time with your children. Listen to them. Do not argue with them. Do not be too strict or be too authoritative with your children. if you were facing a difficult time with your children, this could be a shift, where things, if you are a little receptive now towards your children, there could be a shift in energy. Your relationship with your kids can improve after this period. Capricorn. So if you have a Capricorn rising or a Capricorn ascendant, the eclipse takes place in the 4th house, and Sun rules the 8th house, right? So 8th house ruler is coming to the 4th, and there's an eclipse happening over there. So here, and this is a time where so many planets are anyway sitting in your 4th house, and especially with Rahu's presence over there, with the presence of the eclipse coming into the 4th house. This is a time to concentrate on your home, on your property, clear up or declutter your house. So if you have anything which is unused, which is lying around, time to set aside some 2 to 3 days and clean up your house. And believe me, once you clean up your house, a lot of clarity will come in your heart and mind also. As they say, clutter is the enemy of clarity, right? So so many thoughts, so many emotions will also start getting sorted out once you clear up things, once you clear up your environment at home. Domestic environment is clean and nice. Also a time to repair your your relationship with your mother during this time. So if you have any stresses in your relationship with your mother, this is a time to sit with her. Once the eclipse is out, you can sit with her, talk to her, spend some quality time with her as well, right? So overall, a time for changes, a lot of physical changes also. Make sure that you are if you have any big ticket expenditures, you are waiting for some time, you wait out for the period of 3 days to get over before you make any big ticket expenditures towards land or property, or towards buying something very expensive for your house as well. Then comes the Aquarius ascendant. So for Aquarius, this eclipse takes place in your 3rd house, and the Sun rules the 7th house. So here, first of all, the 3rd house is the house of communication with people at large, one to many model. So how you behave on social media, how you behave with others on a platform is what you have to see, especially with Mercury also being there. So Mercury, which is the planet of communication, Rahu, which is the planet which rules over all these new age technologies, IT, media, etc. So all these energies are sitting together, are together in your 3rd house. So you've got to be careful about what you're posting on social media, how you're communicating with people, how are you behaving with your younger siblings, with your neighbors. I would say if you have any conflict going on with your younger siblings or with your neighbors, etc., this is a time to be low-key. Avoid communication with them during this particular time. Also, do not get into any short-term journeys if they can be avoided. During journeys also, you could face some difficulties. So if you can avoid some journey, just avoid it for a period of 2-3 days, or at least the day of the solar eclipse. Then comes the Pisces ascendant. Now for Pisces ascendant or Pisces rising, the eclipse takes place in the 2nd house, and Sun rules over your 6th house. This could be a period of observing restraint over your speech. So avoid communicating too much within your family. Sun is the ruler of the 6th house, 6th house of opposition. It's a difficult house, it's a Trik Bhava. It rules over your opposition, rules over your conflicts, shatrus, etc. So, and when the sun moves on to the second house, this could create problems with respect to, family, finances, all because of speech. As I said, Mercury and Rahu are also there. So here, because of your speech, there could be problems. So avoid bringing up topics of controversy within your family discussions. If you have some joint family finances to be taken care of, try pending the decision for some time. Take everybody's opinion and then go ahead. Do not be too overconfident about what you are doing. Even if you are the head of the family, try to bring everybody together and listen to everybody, what they want, what their needs are, and what are their ideas. So it could be related to finances or anything which is happening with the family as the whole unit, right, which affects everybody. You need to take everybody's vote, count everybody in, right? Take care of your health and do not consume too much of tamasic food on the day of the eclipse, right? So food intake also needs to be taken care of during this day. So that was all about the 12 ascendants, the 12 signs, and what are the do's and don'ts, or the major things which you can avoid while this eclipse takes place. Do remember that the effect of the eclipse starts one day prior and lasts one day more. So if 20th is the eclipse, then on the 19th and the 21st, 19th, 20th and 21st, 3 days you should take care of all the things which I spoke about. Otherwise, as I said, eclipses or grahans are not to be feared about. They create a chance of something new, welcoming something new into your life. Take it as that, take it positively, and do pray, to your Isht, whomsoever you believe in, whomsoever you connect to. Do chant the mantra or the japa which you do during the eclipse. Do get into some chanting. Try to chant the God's name for some time, and set a positive affirmation or set a positive intent that you are clearing up bad energy around you, and you're welcoming good health and good well-being for yourself. Yeah, so that was all. Wishing you all the best, and I'll see you again very soon in my next video. Till then, take care.